During the construction stage of my project, I used various different technologies. Firstly, I used the DSLR Canon EOS 650D camera. This was used to take a range of still and moving shots of both my band and some possible location shots. I was able to utilise my Canon camera most effectively during the production of my music video. This is as I could use the camera both freehand to provide a shaky effect or on a tripod which provides still images. This is also used well in combination with the editing software iMovie as I pieced them two together. In post-production I used the program iMovie on the iMac to piece together all of my footage. I used this as I had used it before in AS, and it was an extremely effective and easy to use piece of software. When editing my music video, I firstly put the MP3 file onto the background, and I was then able to overlay all the images and videos on top of this. I did this as once all the images and videos had been placed in, I was able to arrange them so that they fit in time with the song and that the sequence of images went well with the music itself. Also, in relation to Andrew Goodwin's theory, it was important to develop a strong link between the visuals and the song lyrics, so therefore during my use of iMovie I was able to strengthen this part of my music video, and several different effects and transitions that I was able to use in my piece. First of all, when the video opens I created a dazed and hazy effect by lowering the contrast of the video and increasing the brightness. This gave the video a hungover type effect. I then used a specific twirling transition to make the viewer feel as if they had been digitally transported to the next part of the footage, in which the colour and all the vibrance of the footage came back post the opening dark and hazy images. I've also included an overlay of the date and time in the bottom right hand corner of some of the shots. This just lets the viewer know what kind of time it is and gives them an idea of how to understand the fragmented time period which exists within the video. Lastly, there is also the scene in which one of the band members is slapped in the face by another. Using iMovie I was able to put the clip into slow motion which created a humorous effect for the audience. This also enabled diversity within the video, allowing the video to become more dynamic. In the construction of my digipack I used several technologies such as the Canon camera, Adobe Fireworks, Adobe Photoshop, Screen Grab and Cooltext to create an interesting and aesthetically pleasing ancillary text. However, the main body of my digipack was created using the Adobe Photoshop software. This was simple to use, it gave professional results. The results that it gave showed my advanced use of the Photoshop software, of which I had a brief understanding previous to this. It was an extremely useful tool to use. Through my use of Adobe Photoshop I was able to convert a natural image of a tree which I captured on my Canon camera into an exciting and 3D looking sci-fi tree. To do this, I simply adjusted the brightness and colour levels of the tree using Adobe Photoshop software. My end result was very pleasing and I even used it on the front cover of my digipack. As the band whose music video I was creating already had a logo, I decided to use a similar format for the logos and text that appeared on my ancillary text. For example, the band's logo is created on a software called Cooltext. I then used this to create the significant fonts that were used on both my designs. For example, the Scratch John type font and also the In Transmission logo, which again was consistent throughout both texts. In constructing my digipack, I used the software Adobe Photoshop. Firstly, however, I downloaded a 6-piece digipack template of the Web 2.0. I then converted this into a Photoshop file and I was ready for use. I then designed all 6 panels using Photoshop and the images that I had taken on my Canon camera previously. I then edited these pictures, placed the text and fonts accordingly, and then placed them into the 6-pack panel in which it was ready for print if necessary. My digipack came out successfully and thanks to Photoshop, the Canon camera and the Web 2.0 I was able to create a successful and effective design. When designing both my magazine advert and my digipack I managed to combine several new technologies together. For example, I used my camera to take pictures of the band and some shots to use in my digipack. I then uploaded these onto the iMacs and put them onto the software Adobe Photoshop. Once these had been edited, I downloaded a 6-pack template off the internet or Web 2.0 and put these pictures into the panels. Once this had been completed, I then uploaded it back to Web 2.0 onto the software Blogger. Once it had been uploaded to Blogger, I was then able to share these specific products on the internet through websites and social networking sites such as Twitter, Facebook and even MySpace. Throughout my research, the use of the Web 2.0 was essential in order for me to gain my information. For example, I was able to use the search engine Google to research lots of information which was relevant about many of the bands of the genre that I would be covering. I also use social networking sites such as Twitter and Facebook to research the bands to see what kind of fans they had and what things they were into. This came in very useful, as when I was using social networking sites such as Twitter or Facebook, I was able to see the existing digipacks and posters that were being uploaded by bands in my genre. For example, bands such as Ask Alexandria would post a poster up with their tour dates and their new album release on their Facebooks, or bands such as Pierce the Veil would post digipack templates to see what the fans liked on their Twitter. It was a great way for both bands to receive feedback and for me to research bands into the genre. It was necessary for me to construct various different PowerPoints and Prezi documents with research of my genre. For example, I created a Prezi about the various conventions of the rock genre. When I was doing this, I combined several technologies. For example, I used pictures that I'd grabbed from Google Images and placed them into my Prezi. I also had taken videos from YouTube of music videos, and these were also included. These were helpful as I was able to gauge the kind of conventions that were consistent throughout all the videos, and also the mise-en-scene that will consist throughout most of the videos and pictures. Also, once I had done these PowerPoints and Prezis, they were uploaded to Blogger using Web 2.0. This is another example of me combining two technologies together. When I was gathering my audience feedback, I used several different uses of technology. For example, for my focus group, which was the band itself, I was able to record them speaking on a dictaphone, which was just on my iPhone and as a simple app of voice recording. I was also able to capture them using a flip camera, which didn't prove the most successful results. This was not uploaded as I was not happy with the finished results, but the information was recorded and placed into a PowerPoint on my blog. Using the camera on the Apple iMac, I was able to record a group of teenagers watching our video. They then proceeded to give us constructive criticism, which enabled us to improve our video and get a better result. The use of the Apple iMac, however, was extremely useful, as it simply just pressed play, recorded for us, and was able to record our results in the form of question and answer formats. The use of social networking sites on my research was extremely significant. I use social networking sites such as Twitter, MySpace and Facebook to gather all the relevant information about the bands who are similar to the band in my genre and other relevant information. For example, bands such as Bring Me the Horizon became successful due to their growing success and popularity on the social networking MySpace. I was able to convey this idea into my own band, as every time I constructed a new post or set a new band photo up, I was able to share it on these social networking sites and get user feedback of what they thought. I have recorded and presented my planning in several different formats. For example, I've used things such as PowerPoints, Prezis, videos, Blogger, and also just simple images and text documents. All of these aspects were then uploaded onto my blog, which is on this website Blogger. Blogger was extremely helpful in the use of my media coursework, as it gave me a medium for me to convey all of my different products. For example, my ancillary text, my music video, and all of my research and planning. In turn, also my evaluation will be posted onto that. Blogger was extremely useful as I could post things such as videos, pictures, Word documents, Prezis, and everything I had stated. It was extremely effective, as not only did it give a means for me to convey my information across, but it was also able to be shared on social networking sites such as Twitter and Facebook, and gave a creative and interesting approach to my media coursework. There was definitely a varied range in the use of media technology throughout my coursework. Some of these technologies worked well, for instance using the iMacs to record videos, or my iPhone to record voice notes. However, some things such as recording on the flip camera did not work as well, as the picture quality and sound quality just didn't cut it, and I was not happy to upload it onto my blog. However, sometimes they did work effectively, it depended on the surroundings. In turn, I was quite happy with the overall outcome of my blog, and the technologies I used all gave me a range of diverse and dynamic products. Before I could begin constructing my actual music video, I had to plan it. To do this, I first created a storyboard with several images of the shots I had hoped to achieve. I then put this into a moving document in which I made an animatic. This was extremely useful as it told me exactly what I had to do in more order and how I was going to achieve it. It also included the different shots and angles that I would be including in my music video. I initially planned the digipack by simply sketching out a few rough ideas. I was then able to scan these in to include them on my blog. However, I then created my digipack using the Adobe Photoshop software. It was extremely effective. I then found the net for my digipack using the Web 2.0. When designing my magazine advert, I again began with a few rough sketches. I then however created a flatbed pan using PowerPoint. I've also used several different technologies through doing my evaluation posts. For example, my question 1 and 2 constructed using a Microsoft PowerPoint. These all featured pictures from Google Images, images that I had created on Photoshop, and images I had taken myself using the Canon camera. Then in question 3, I created a video log format, in which I recorded myself talking about the different aspects of my coursework. Finally, in this video, I've used the iMovie software, and I've recorded myself using the voice recorder on here. This acts as a director's commentary almost over my coursework. I was quite happy with my evaluation questions, as I used a range of different technologies throughout. This is also going to be posted onto Blogger, which gives me the facility for people to comment, and also for me to gain feedback from this once more. Also, it can be shared onto websites such as Facebook, Twitter, and also MySpace, as this again gives me a general medium to be able to access feedback. Through the use of this video, I've been able to explain how I've used several technologies throughout my coursework. Thank you for taking the time to watch.